Hey guys, Rhett here. Have a super special video for you today. It's a treat to have him on the channel. I want to introduce everybody to Dave Dubeau. He is the originator and the creator of the 5-step money partner formula. Super excited to have him on the channel today. I think he could help out so many of you in your journey to be property moguls and rental property heroes. So Dave, thanks for coming on today. I'm super excited to talk to you.
Rhett, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me on your YouTube channel. It's fantastic.
I'm returning the favor, my friend. So guys, Dave does something very helpful, okay, to all you out there. And I know I get emails all day long of people struggling with this. Dave, you help people raise private funds for property, for down payments, to get into property. Can you just explain a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, thanks, Rhett. So basically, most of us, when we get into real estate investing, we charge in, we're keen, we save up some money, we put it in the 20% down, 25% down, we buy a property, we get it up and running. Maybe we do that once or twice, but then we hit that wall, we run out of cash, we run out of credit, and we get stuck, right? That happens to a lot of people. And unfortunately, a lot of people get stuck there and they never go beyond having 1 or 2 or 3 properties in their portfolio, which is great. That's better than nothing, but it's really not going to, get you out of the rat race anytime soon. Does that make sense? So what we do is we help people start raising capital. So we typically help folks raise their first 500,000, maybe $1 million, maybe 1.5 million by tapping in to their existing network, right? So finding their own private money partner. So that's why we call the whole process the money partner formula.
Dave, it's so helpful because I get people that call me weekly and say, Rhett, once I have 25,000 saved up, or I have 35,000 saved up. Once I use that money for a down payment and we get into a property and it's cash flow and everything's hunky dory, am I going to have to wait 50 months or 30 months in order to build that cash flow up again to buy? And that's where somebody like you comes in, correct?
Well, yeah, that's where the process comes in. So basically what we show people and what we do with our clients is we show them how to really leverage their networks, right? Because if you're going out, you want to raise capital, I don't care who it's from. The person who's going to invest with you needs to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you with their money, right? It's just common sense. So what we show people how to do is we show them step number 1 is to create a target group of somewhere between 100 and 200 people that we're going to laser focus all of our efforts on. And what I'm going to suggest is that you really focus on people in your existing network. So friends, family members, coworkers, business associates, etc., right? Now, not all 100 or 200 of those people are going to invest with you, right? They're not all going to be ready, willing, or able to invest with you. However, a number of them will if you do things properly. And that's why, typically it's pretty easy for us to help people raise that first $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, quite often within a matter of weeks or a few months, and get into the 1.5 million within a matter of months up to a year. So if you do things properly, typically there's quite a bit of capital within those pre-existing relationships. It's all about how do we get things going on the right foot. And my goal is, instead of us chasing after people, trying to convince people to invest with us, let's kind of turn that around. Let's entice people. Let's create curiosity. Let's get them to put up their hand and say, hey, Rhett, that real estate thing you're doing, man, that's pretty cool. I'd like to find out more. Because that conversation is so much easier than us, doing the old school Wolf of Wall Street thing, picking up the phone and dialing for dollars or all that kind of gross stuff. So that's what we really focus on there with the process.
So Dave, you said that within, a couple months, you have clients that can raise a couple $100,000 just by tapping into their own networks.
Yeah, well, I'm Canadian. You can probably hear that from the accent. We work with a lot of American clients. We work with a lot of Canadian clients. Canadian property prices are absolutely insane these days. The average single family house in Canada, the average is over $800,000. It's mind boggling, right? So just to buy a house you need over 100,000, 150, sometimes $200,000 just for a down payment for a rental house here. So it's a prerequisite. It's necessary. Now, for our friends in the States, quite often, especially if you're dealing with the kind of properties that you specialize in, where you don't have to be coming up with that kind of capital, it's even easier because you don't need to bring on investors with hundreds of thousands of dollars each.
Right. And Dave, I know that people watching this right now, they have just bells going off listening to you talk, because we constantly run into the same issue. We do so good, and we build up this fantastic base of property. And I have clients that use co-signers, but eventually their debt to income catches up with them.
Yeah.
Their credit catches up with them. They can only have, as you know, Dave, you can only have 10 conventional residential loans on you in the United States. So, and sometimes people can't even get there because
Right.
maybe their W-2 job or their 1099 job won't support 7, 8, 9 loans where they're financing 80% every single time. So for some of those clients that I have, and for some people that are watching this video right now, they need to raise their own capital and they don't even know where to start. So,
Right.
what would you tell some people like that?
Well, first things first, how, like, if capital and qualifying wasn't an issue, if that wasn't even a problem anymore, how many more properties would you want to buy for your portfolio? Right? That's the question. Like, how big would you want to get that portfolio? That's what you got to be thinking about. Because here's a beautiful thing, right? When you dial this in, what we need to realize is our investors, our money partners, don't want to be hands-on with the deal. Our partners want you to manage the deal for them. Does that make sense? So here's the beautiful thing. So especially in your situation, you could get investors on board who want to get involved in real estate, but have zero interest in dealing with tenants and toilets and property management. And in your case, dealing with the government and the bureaucracy and all that kind of stuff. All they want to do is get a check every month. That's all they really want to do. And if they can hand off the rest, if they can have a nice, solid, secure investment, they're going to be thrilled. Because here's the challenge a lot of us have. We're into this. We're really into this whole real estate investing thing. So we think everybody else should be really interested in it, want to do it hands-on, but they don't. They want the benefits, but they don't want the headache. So that's what it's a marriage made in heaven, right? You bring the deal, you bring the know-how, you bring the management, your investor brings the capital, your investor brings the qualifying for the financing. You work together. In this case, it'd be more like a joint venture. You buy the property together and you split the profit. So think about how cool that is, Red. So yeah, of course, it's better if you own the whole property yourself, but still you're going to have a lot of your cash tied up in that deal. How many properties could you do if you were getting half of the profit, but you didn't have to come up with any of the money, right? You just cookie cutter, you rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And that's a beautiful thing. That's exactly what you can do when you tap into using other people's money, when you bring on these investor partners, because you underestimate what you're bringing to the table. What you're bringing to the table is huge. You're bringing to the table your knowledge, your experience, your training. You're bringing your team to the table. You're bringing the property, the deal itself. You're bringing the management. You're bringing the financing, right? You're getting all that organized. You're bringing the tenants. You're bringing all of this. You're bringing all of that value to the table. So your investors are bringing the cash, perhaps they're bringing the credit, and that's all they have to do, right? So it really is, once you've got this dialed in, it's the perfect way to scale.
I mean, it really is, Dave. And everybody in my coaching program, they're scaling quick. And everybody that's watching this, they want to scale. But eventually, it doesn't matter. Eventually, you need to tap into funding. And with the things that are going on in our world right now, and Dave, you are as deep in real estate as anybody, you understand things are crazy, rates are going up, right? It's getting harder and harder to get money. It's getting more expensive to get money. So there is, without a doubt, a place for private funding, for private money, especially for people who want to continue to grow their portfolio. I always talk about it's so important to buy regardless of what's going on around you, right? So when the market's high, we buy. When the market's low, we buy. And that way, in 10
Hopefully
years,
more. Exactly.
right,
Yeah.
you're just always buying.
Yeah.
So, but the only way to do that, Dave, people need money. And
Right.
that's where you come in, because you're teaching people, hey, this is how you raise it. You know, you're not going to raise it for them. You're giving them the tools to raise their money. And those are tools that they'll have for the rest of their lives.
Well, exactly. And actually, our business is, we provide done for you marketing services for people to help them set up all these tools. Because again, most people have got training out the ears. They just rather have somebody set it all up for them and press go and just show up for investor meetings. So that's basically what our service is getting everything set up so that this whole process is implemented and running for people.
Right. And Dave, you work with smart people. I have a lot of smart clients. You have a lot of smart clients. And what people don't realize is once we teach them the processes and the systems, they're smart enough where it clicks.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah,
then they can just grow and grow, right?
They can grow and grow. Exactly. So here's one of the hiccups or the challenges I see a lot of people have, Rhett, and it's all up here, right? They think, how can I go out and raise money for my deals? I've only got 1 or 2 properties in my portfolio. I see all these Robert Kiyosaki types with thousands of doors, or here's Rhett that's been doing this for a decade and he's got a YouTube channel and thousands of followers. How can I possibly compete against that? Well, here's the good news, you guys. You're not competing against anybody, right? Because we're focusing on your network, your existing friends, family members, coworkers, business associates, whatever, right? So here's the beautiful thing. If you've got even one successful revenue property deal under your belt, you are ahead of 95% of the general population. Because the last stat I saw, take it for what it's worth, statistics, right, is that 95% of the general population has never purchased a revenue property. Their own house does not count as a revenue property. I'm talking about an investment property. So if you've got one deal under your belt that's going nicely, you're already ahead of 95% of the non-real estate people that you know. So I don't know about you, Brett, but I'm pretty fanatical about real estate. I firmly believe that a good real estate deal, especially the Section 8 type deals that you're showing people how to do, is the best way for everyday folks like you, like myself, like our investor partners, to get a good, solid return on our money backed by a solid, tangible asset, a real piece of property, right? I don't know any other investment out there that we have as many different profit centers. Like a single family home, if you're doing this long-term buy and hold, I'm aware of 8 different ways our investors and ourselves can profit from a single property, right? So it's huge. And I'm sure you see this when you're doing your deals as well. I don't know any other kind of investment that we exercise as much control over. What we buy, where we buy it, what we do with it. In your case, who we get into it, who we're getting to pay the rent for us, right? The government. I love that. Right. So there's so much control that we exercise. Compare that to stocks, bonds, crypto, anything else out there. It's up, down, all over the place. I firmly believe it's our patriotic duty, actually, to educate people about what we're up to with real estate investing, and then allow them to make an educated decision as to whether or not they want to invest or not. So the beautiful thing is, with this process, you're not picking up the phone and cold calling anybody. You're not pressuring Uncle Frank into investing with you. You're not twisting anybody's arm. You're just getting the word out, and you're getting people to come to you already pre-motivated, pre-educated, predisposed to invest with you in your deals. So that's the beautiful thing about how, if you do this right.
That is beautiful. And Dave, I don't want to keep you too long. You're a busy man, but I do want to touch on this. So sure. You're setting up a program and a process to find people in your network who want to back you and want to partner with you in these real estate endeavors.
Right.
But guys watching this, and you back me up on this, Dave, if I'm right with this, you don't have to do this every single time, because once you do it once, you have a proof of concept. And once those people that are investing with you start seeing that your idea works, are they more inclined to back you in other endeavors and continue to give you more money if you continue to be successful?
Oh, for sure. I call this the lifetime worth of an investor. I've got a whole training on that. It's really quite a mind-blowing number if you crunch the numbers. So yeah, if you take into account investors reinvesting with you, and if you also take into account referrals from happy investors to their friends and their family members, this is how you really start to snowball the whole thing. But there's one thing that I would like to emphasize here, Rhett, and that is, we hear a lot of real estate gurus say, you know what, just find a good deal and the money will find you. And I say that is complete baloney. We need to do the exact opposite, actually. You need to go out and get your investor ducks in a row. You got to get a number of people lined up saying, hey, you know what, Rhett, next time you get a deal, I want first dibs. If you've got a group of people like that, then here's the beautiful thing. Then you can go out, you can find deals, you can negotiate harder, you can get them under contract faster because you've got the capital to back you up to actually close on those deals. So that's going to allow you to go in with complete confidence. It's going to allow you to grow your portfolio and scale much, much faster. So when it comes to the chicken and the egg, which comes first, the money or the deal, the money always comes first.
100% right. Now, Dave, where can my viewers, where can my subscribers, where can they find your information? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, we got this thing called moneypartnerformula.com. Again, moneypartnerformula.com. Check it out there. You can get a free copy of my book, conveniently, coincidentally called Money Partner Formula, in exchange for your name and your email address. You can get some complimentary training. You can book a call to see if our services are a good fit for you. It's all at moneypartnerformula.com.
Well, Dave, thanks for joining us today. I know you provided a ton of value, and I know people will definitely reach out to you about this because they should. So guys, thanks for watching. And you have all of Dave's info. Reach out to him, and we'll see you next time.